I was about to say, do you tell on your brothers?
Yes.
I just threatened you. My sister doesn't. I don't have siblings.
Logan's trying to tell me why I told him to listen. And I was like, has this concept been lost on you?
Khan Academy is due today.
What?
And, yeah, that's not a surprise. It's not like it's new. And Thursday. And Friday.
Can we move the Friday date?
Why, you might ask? Because we're trying to finish this unit this week. So, can we move the Thursday or Friday dates? Of course. I'm not moving today's date because it's assigned from last week. You should be done with it. Yeah, you should be done with it. Like, I'm tired of you guys operating on, oh, wait, I forgot to do that. Oh, let me do that. Now, like, guys, come on. Use your plan books. Keep track of what you need to do. Do work at home. Like, sorry, if we're being honest, some of you are behind because you just don't work at home. And I can see that, right? So as a reminder, when I look at you in Khan Academy, I see when you've been working. So, yeah, kind of creepy. I get it. Big brother sort of thing. But I can see if you work at 11 o'clock at night. And while I may have opinions about that, at least you're working at home. I can also see if the only times you work are here during AO and extensions. That's kind of a bummer. Because you're not being like, if you're behind. If you're behind and I'm like, come on, do some work at home. Like, and if you never work on a Saturday or Sunday, well, if you're caught up, okay, sweet. You've made your life nice because you're always caught up. But if you're behind, guess what? You got to work on a Saturday or Sunday probably.
You get the hard boot.
Yeah. Or the belt, right? It's probably not anymore. I said that, and then I remembered that it's 2021, and that probably doesn't happen anymore, and I'm from Appalachia. Oh, I'm not saying I would get, I mean your parents. When your parent is like, wait, you're behind on your work? Look, I will readily admit, I have had many a spankings. I got put in the corner, and I got my mouth washed out with soap. And none of that got anybody called on anybody, because I deserved it. Just saying.
I'll be honest, I said the B word because I heard my mom say it.
I heard my mom say it is not a good excuse. Adam, and then we got to start class. I can't hear you. Yo, we're gonna start class in 30 seconds, but we gotta start to dwindle it down. I don't. Now that we realize that it is a bad thing to do and that it developmentally can mess kids up, I don't condone any of that. What I'm saying is it happened when I was a child, and that that's just what happened. It depends on who you are. But so if I accidentally break a lamp because my sister and I were wrestling in the living room and then I get hit for it, what am I going to do the next time I break a lamp? Probably hide it, right? I don't want to get hit. So it doesn't instill trust and honesty and if you hit people when they mess up, well, and this is going way too deep. This is a connections conversation is what this is.
We did do connection.
Yes.
Well, there you go. So, my goal today is the end of class to be all Khan Academy. My goal is for the end of class to be all Khan Academy. So if we can get on to doing class, that would be sweet. If you missed what goes in your plan book, it was that Khan Academy is due today, Thursday, and Friday, because I see some plan books still out. Otherwise, go ahead and put that away, and we are on today's notes. If you missed grabbing today's notes on the way in, grab them at the door. But this was all that was on the slide. So if you read this, you'll understand that, I don't have a lot of lesson to get through. How much you guys talk and get off task just eats into your Khan Academy time. So we are going to go through this worksheet, kind of answering questions dealing with similarity versus congruence. So if you want to, and it's on the back because I didn't have space on the front, if you want to, let's jump to the back. And by if you want to, I'm really hey, let's go to the back and look at this. Congruence versus similarity. What do those words mean? Congruence. Zoe? Yeah, congruence means exactly the same, right? Same lengths, same angles, same areas, no dilation, only rigid transformations. So congruence is represented by this symbol. It's the equals with like a little squiggly above it. Do not confuse that with the squiggly equals that means approximately. This means equal to and exactly the same. Like they are the same shape. And I'll show you where this symbol comes into play.
Why are they the exact same?
Here, watch. Because I can tell that this bothers you, but I should change colors. Similarity. Similarity is represented just by the squiggly. So if we say like triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF, versus if we said triangle XYZ, my green pen is going, was congruent to triangle, I don't know,
You can't have
HIJ. So, congruent, whatever note you need to make for yourself to tell you that it's exactly the same, right? Exactly the same, identical, same length, same everything. So, you could just make the note same everything. Like, even down to the area, right? Lengths, areas, everything's the same. Similar, though, anyone know what similar means?
you can use
They're the same, but I put that in parentheses for a reason.
They're almost the same. There's something different about it, but most
What something? You're right.
the two objects or symbols or points.
the area.
I mean, yes, but somebody did say it. The size. They're the same, except for size has been changed. So, they are the same, meaning if we had a triangle, like if we had a right triangle, we still have a right triangle. If we had an isosceles triangle, we still have an isosceles triangle. It's the same shape, but different size. So if we flip back to the front to start looking at are these people correct or not, and I need to go get another copy of the notes because now I wrote on my back. I had another copy sitting there I just forgot about. Or the wind. It's the ghost of a cold front current. Get it? Like past and never mind. Currents. Wind currents. That was a good joke, actually. I'm just going to go ahead and claim that. So, Yuki was curious. It'll probably look better if I just put this one up. Hey, knock it off. You guys are being insensitive to the fact that other names from other cultures don't sound like John and Mary. Yuki was curious if ABC was congruent to FED. So she tried to map one triangle. Guys, map just means like move to make fit. Right? So she tried to map, or, it's Dora's way to find her way around, one triangle onto the other using transformations. So, here's what Yuki concluded. It's not possible. Because when I try to put ABC onto FED using a sequence of rigid transformations, the triangles are not congruent. So, did Yuki make an error? Take a moment, read through this, and actually we're going to take a few minutes where there shouldn't be lots of conversation and noises happening to try all three of these problems on the first page. Note, the dotted line shape is showing where it landed momentarily, not where it necessarily lands in the end. Right? So like in the second problem, that becomes more applicable because you can't see this, but guys, check it. There is a pink solid circle on top of this blue dotted circle. That pink circle is circle N.
Oh.
So please notice this. So like that is color-coded, that is not color-coded on your paper, right? So the blue, well, yeah, because I can't print in color. That would be really expensive. Like when we print your plain books in color, we pay for that to be in color. And it costs money.
You can kind of see where it started. Kind of.
Yeah, it's like a tiny bit darker. All right, so that we can read, and it's hard to talk and read, be quiet for just a couple minutes. So that it's been said, you can always go on. Like you don't really have to wait to flip to the back or wait to read the next question. So you can always go on. And yes, if you're totally caught up with Con, you might recognize some of these problems. Yeah, because if I turn something, it's still the same size. If you get totally done with the notes, you may pull out your computer and jump into Con. If you're totally caught up with Con, it's up to you what you do, but you cannot be a distraction. That is not an option.
Are we gonna go over them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because we might disagree. I'm a little concerned that as I walked around. So wait time is my hardest. Like I'm bad at wait time, so I'm trying very hard to use my timer to make sure I give you guys ample time to like read and think about problems.
I can see the computer.
Yeah, in the cart in the hallway. If you look out to the left. Okay, keep your notes out, even if you pull out your computer to work on homework. Here in like 2 minutes, we're going to go over these together. Because if you haven't done these assignments, you just might see these problems in time.
Yeah.
if everyone wants to flip back to that front one, because we're going to do class verification of if we agree or disagree with what, and this is when, like, I hope at this point we've fostered this, like, safe learning environment so that we can all be, like, willing to say, like, well, this is what I think, and if I'm wrong, okay, fine, like, tell me I'm wrong, but, like, no shame, right? Like, no worries about being wrong. So, in our first one, Yuki has two different ways she may have made a mistake, or there is no error. Sophia, what do you think? Oh, we just talked to you, didn't we? Did I not flip the card? Did I already call on you this class? No. Oh, okay. Well, Sophia, what do you think about Yuki? She make a mistake, or what? Answer A. So one more transformation, a rotation, would map ABC onto FED. Who remembers this problem from yesterday? Who remembers the fact that we talked about if we rotate it, we can actually get where we need to? A reflection would not work, but a rotation would get us there. So in order to do a reflection and make it work, we would actually have to do two reflections. So B is not correct here because it only says one reflection. We could do it in two reflections because if you flip and flip again, then it's like a rotation. But if you only flip once, it does not get the right shape. Layla was able to. Colin, what do you think? Did Layla make a mistake or is she good?
I don't think I'm right about this.
So you think you made a mistake about if Layla made a mistake?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say C.
C? What do we think? Or if you're not sure, go in the middle. If we agree with C, we're not sure.
I didn't think I was correct now that I'm looking.
All right, we're seeing some thumbs down. Sarah, what do you think?
I thought it was
A? What are we feeling, guys? A, that Layla didn't use only rigid transformations. Did our size from M to the N that we talked about goes all the way around here? Did the size change? Yeah, so that means she also used a dilation, which is non-rigid. It is non-rigid. So they are similar, but not congruent. Down here with Jerome. Sevi, what do you think? Jerome's trying to map ABC onto FED. So he says it is not possible to map ABC onto FED using a sequence of rigid transformations. They are not congruent. What made you say that they are not able to, like, it kind of looks like if I reflect it, it'll line up. Not, well, yeah, but actually, because check it, this base is 4.
No, I'm not saying you could do it.
If you were able to reflect it, you could also rotate it, so there would be 2 answers correct there also.
Hey guys. Realize that both of you interrupted me. My wife would make you put $1 in the jar. Now we've joked about having an interruption jar at home. This is 4 at the bottom. This triangle on the left splits our base and is an isosceles triangle. The triangle that we start with and the triangle that we see here after our slide translations is not isosceles. This is a scalene triangle. So if we look carefully, there is no way to map this onto this one because this point is in the middle of the triangle and this point is not. It's off-centered. There is no error. Jerome is correct because they're just different triangles. Now, if this point D was up here, yeah, sure, I agree with all your reflection arguments. But you're not right because that's not where it is, right? So if you were arguing for a reflection or rotation, sorry, it does not work. I like how you think I'm coming at you.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying.
What are our answers here?
Sometimes.
Sometimes and sometimes because it's a rectangle.
Yeah, because there can be like a 3 and 1 rectangle and a 6 and 3
Yeah, they don't say similar ratios. They don't say anything about the ratios. Akshaya, give me a shape that is always similar. A circle is always similar to another circle. Ben, you got another one? Shape that is always similar to another one of its type? I'm not asking this well. Akshaya said circles. Yeah, squares! So, rectangles are not always similar, but squares and circles are always similar. There's another one that actually blanket covers a ton of shapes. Go on. It's a you're on the right track. Not necessarily. Sevi? Not necessarily. The quadrilateral is just like a rectangle, except it's not 90 degrees, right? We may not know this word yet. Kelly?
Equilateral triangles?
Yes, but be broader. Encompass equilateral triangles and squares and...
Equilateral shape.
You're
Okay,
real
I think I know
close.
what you're about to say, but I know
You-
what you're talking about. I've heard the word.
Parallelogram.
Regular.
Yeah, I know that word.
I know it now that you say it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know him. Yep, uh-huh. Sure you do.
I've heard it before.
Regular,
I've never heard that term.
Colin's being honest.
Yeah.
Regular means,
I've heard the term regular, but not used in the regular polygon. How about that?
so, a stop sign is a regular octagon. But I can also, if somebody says, oh yeah, a stop sign, go make me a stop sign, it's an octagon. There's an octagon. There's my stop sign. Here you go. I'd get fired. But you didn't say a regular octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Octagon. Regular means all the same. Now wait, what if I made all of these the same lengths? It's still not regular because it's all the same. Edges are congruent, and so are all your angles. So your interior angles, the angles on the inside of the shape. So that is why on a stop, like if you measure every angle on a stop sign, it is 135 degrees because it's a 90 plus a 45. Think about it. If you think about an octagon, that's a bad 45. But it's a 90 plus a 45, right? Because then the next one down here is a 90. The next one is a 45. Right? Like, well, no, I'm just drawing real light because it's not a great drawing. Adam? No, I'm just giving you guys a hard time. Yeah. You should have heard it before. Like, you really should have. It's just funny when no one can remember the word, and then as soon as the teacher says it, everyone's like, oh yeah, yup, yeah, that word, yup, we knew it the whole time. We wanted to see if you knew it. That's what, that's the thing.
I've only heard of it. I've never
Yeah, now you don't know what it means.
I said that I didn't the first time.
All right. Adam, your card's actually next. Thanks for volunteering. What do you think here? Pedro concludes that it is not possible to map circle A onto circle B using a sequence of rigid transformations, so the shapes are not similar.
I think that one more transformation, a dilation, would map circle A onto circle B, so the circles are similar. Just because you can't do it with rigid transformations doesn't mean they aren't similar.
Yeah, similar doesn't give a hoot about rigid. Similar allows you to change size. Remember, rigid says no size change allowed. But similar doesn't care. So one more transformation, a dilation, would map it out. Bastion, which is what we call one of our dogs whose name is Sebastian. Bastion was able to map our quadrilateral as shown. He concluded I was able to map quadrilateral onto quadrilateral using a sequence of rigid transformations and dilations. So the figures are similar. Dewan, what do you think here? It is C.
Potentially.
What do we think?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, give Dewan some thumbs up if we agree. There we go. Because again, similar, right? Because he says and a dilation. Sure, it can be similar. Cannot be congruent anymore, but it can be similar. Sweet. Khan Academy for the rest of the time. If you're not done with today's homework, yeah, I would hop, skip, and jump and try to get that done. Yeah, out to the left there. Guys, please make sure that when you borrow things like that you put them away and plug in the chargers. And like, I know it's nearing the end of the year and it's easy to be like, oh, it's just one charger, it's not that big of a deal. But if every student thinks like that, or if it's like, oh, it's just 3 highlighters, Kelly, and you forget to put them away after you've been playing with them, I'm only picking on you because I almost had you come and put your highlighters back away yesterday. You just left them on the counter. It's no big deal. Somebody else used them this morning. Then I don't think they were yours to start, but then you were playing with them during class, so then they became yours, right? As soon as you touch it, it's yours. I'm getting on Zoom for anyone that has any questions you would like some help with. Getting on Zoom for anyone who wants some assistance. When I launch Zoom and no one shows up, it's like I hosted a party and nobody came.
Yes. Oh, that makes me feel bad. I felt that before though.
Actually, I was.
It's like you send out a bunch of text messages and you're like, all right, they're coming. Nope.
I mean, like, I remember my husband said all the time stuff.
There we go.
And then they show up as worse though.
Guys, thanks for not letting me dance alone. I appreciate
But
it.
the worst thing though is when
No,
they
AJ's
go
coming in
on
too.
don't even say maybe or whatever, and then they come anyways and you didn't have
That's
anything
just a
for
pity.
them.
Yeah, or when your friends are like, yeah, I'll make it if nothing else comes up. I'm like, wow, way to make me feel important. Yeah, except now who's hosting parties these days? Hopefully nobody really. Unless it's a Zoom homework party. Alright, so even though I don't have my Zoom up here, because I know some people are slightly self-conscious, if you want to, like, those of you in my Zoom, or I'll watch my email too, if you want to screen share a problem you're struggling with, or send it to me in email, then I will take a snapshot of it, throw it here, and then we can do it. Easier than Zoom, because then you don't have to keep screen sharing. Probably. Brittany, I did see your email, but too late to make like a decent change with that, so we should chat. We should just, because we'll have to like talk with somebody else too. We'll have to figure out who can switch. Or we should just find your glasses. That would be a sweet thing too. Are you guys just here so I'm not alone, or is anyone going to screen share? Okay.
everyone's really basic, and then you put it in your calculator, and I'm like, oh wait, I know what 12 times 3 is. Why did I put that in my calculator?
Look, man, sometimes you just want the number in there so you can keep working with it. You know, like, because then what you do to it after that might get complicated. Like, I never, ever judge what people type into a calculator. Like, absolutely not, because it just gives you clarification.
I like the wave of it. I like the wave of it. So then in case I don't want to
There we go. I finally got your email.
I'm one of those people that will get an answer, and then I'll put it into the calculator to make sure I got the answer, and it'll be something like 12 times 15.
I don't know if I'm going to need to see what it says about what the scale factor is, but you did cut that off, just by the way.
It says one time.
What is the question?
It says, no, because you're supposed to move between times.
Dude, I hated doing these drawings.
Oh, those were terrible. I'm still doing
So
Who's the lucky person?
So, what might be
The
more
one tried to run away.
efficient than everybody complaining about why they also got frustrated by this problem, me explaining the easier way to deal with it seems like that might be a better approach. But if you all just want to have like a vent session, we can do that too.
That sounds pretty nice.
It sounds nice, but kind of pointless. You got it. I was about to say, this seems less pointless, approximately 6 points more.
Oh my god.
So, what we said about dilations of shapes and points is that we're changing distances and or sizes. Are you okay?
Yeah, I want to.
No offense, but no. Like, just because it's more efficient for me to just do this real quick, I'm going to try to help as many people as possible real fast. If we had lots of, in a normal school year, I'd love to get you guys up here as much as possible, because by now, guys, we would be done. Like, we would have learned everything we needed to learn. If we'd been in school every day, I'm serious, we'd be done by now pretty much.
Are you for real?
Dude, after spring break, there's really not much school after spring break.
35 days left.
That's a lot.
So, what we do is we look at the distance between P and B, and we can either measure it like in diagonals or measure it in both the horizontal and the vertical. Then we apply the scale factor to either stretch it further away or bring it closer. So what I notice is this is 2 and 2. Under a scale factor of 1/2, you said it was, we're going to get half as far away, or here, 1 and 1. We do the same thing, and we're working from P because P is the center of our dilation. We do the same thing out to A. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if I cut that in half, I'm going to be here, but then I got to figure out how far up. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 2 up. So A prime is going to be here. And then C, I'm going to go ahead and change colors just to make my life a little bit easier. 4 and 4, so it's going to be 2 and 2. Does that make sense? So we figure out how far away each point is, and then we half each of those like dimensions. I got no other emails. I got people in my Zoom, but
Good afternoon, Charlotte August. Come to the office. Charlotte August to the office, please. Thank you.
and obviously you're not going to miss anything.
I got the problem done.
You're allowed, any of you, you're allowed to tell the people in the office like how to say your names. You're allowed to tell us how to say your names. Trust me, it makes them feel less uncomfortable. No, but you can't go to the office and be like, my name is pronounced DeParty. Like, no, you can't do that sort of stuff.
I can't wait till I'm like old enough to change my name.
If you did that, you probably
Depending on where you live, it's very annoying to change your name.
Because you have to change all your official documents.
No, more so. I mean, yes, you're right with that, but literally, depending on where you live, you have to run an ad in the newspaper so people can like disagree if they want. Like, so my wife and I, when we got married, we lived in Lewis Center, like a little bit north of here. In Lewis Center, or whatever county that's in, if she was gonna keep her name and hyphenate with my last name, that's technically a legal name change, because what by default happens, yes, we can have a whole different conversation about why does the male's name carry, but what by default happens is the woman can take the male's name or just keep your name. You can't hyphenate like just out of nowhere. That's a legal name change. So what she was going to have to do is pay like $100 to put an ad in the paper for like a week, and then go in front of a judge who, like, as long as no one opposes it, and it's not like, you know, Logan rocked the party, like, you know, if it's like not a name, and the judge would be like, no, get out of here. But like then they say, okay, sure, fine. So like she would have been able to do it. It just would have been a giant pain in the butt. So she was like, I'll just take your name. She was gonna hyphenate so she could keep her name too.
What kind of like monster of a person would be like, I don't want you taking your name? Like,
well, if you were trying to make your name like something that would offend somebody else, like Logan, there is no God Zimmerman or something like that, like, yeah, somebody would oppose that probably. You know what I mean? Like, think about why would somebody oppose it? They would probably have good reason.
but it doesn't. But it also seems like it's not their decision to make.
I mean, you make a good argument. You're not wrong. Like, this is where we think, like, teach you guys to think critically. What?
It's what is the side length of A?
Oh,
I mean the angle.
it's just.
Whoa! Just is a dangerous word. A prime's going to match with A, C prime's going to match with C, B prime's going to match with B, and vice versa, right? So each, crap. So you're done? You did what I did and you were about to connect these? Yeah, no, you just got to be careful where it maps. You're not stupid, you just fell in the trap door. I mean, even Indiana Jones pulls the wrong, thing every now and then.
I still think he should have been smarter about it.
I love when it's like he like does something and then he waits to see what it's like. Dude, just run, just like go. They've been playing Indiana Jones on TV.
It's like if you were to just stand, it's like you were to murder someone and you just stand there.
Well, that's a little creepy.
Well, that's what Harry did. He just, Voldemort was like, Avada Kedavra, and he just died.
Well, it's a spoiler.
I don't understand.
You gotta give spoiler alerts.
But I mean, who are we talking about? Voldemort killed some people. A lot of them were Muggles, so it doesn't really matter who they were. Spoiler.
I did this on my phone. I was like 8 years old.
Oh my gosh.
I cursed about Harry Potter.
What is the? There it is.
I've never watched Harry Potter.
All right, for your viewing pleasure, in case you have yet to see this. Look, hold on. Apparently, I should probably shut the door. I gotta stop my video because I realize I'm about to record somebody else's content, and you can't legally do that. Well, okay, but I don't want my video to get hit for like an infringement